Bernard LaChance and Perlita and Dave and Oyster Cracker Man and Red Robo Rapist Knight there and Ellery, Harry and Joe. It's not really hard to see that you guys run a rapist barn. Okay, so either after the child Joe's the mysterious Jewish child of Israel Joe, or in England, killed the boy there, or in Michigan, or in Texas after the boy went up into there and killed him. And Joe killed him. Okay, Joe then goes down to Jonestown. Remember, you guys, this whole premise is based upon the two, right? Hovering bridges over the two children. This is what they showed me, Joe. Okay, so after you guys killed Greg's son, or one of the boys, then Joe goes, you guys, from England or to Korea or from Israel down to the Jonestown, and then you guys bit that one in. Okay, this is how I know the rapist barn. You guys, this rapist barn still running, right? Well, this is what you do, whispering faggot Joe. This is you guys' whole fucking premise. And it's not really hard to get your guys' operation. And why Perlita and Harry and all them and Eloise and Dave and you guys will act all crazy stupid, because once you if you're rejected, if Ellery and them were rejected, then they throw a temper tantrum and make up a story. Team bitted fat, because Perlita's the bitted. So when he goes down and puts me into Jonestown with the Negro or Elton is rejected, or the red Negroes. The kid figured it out. So we have hovering bridges over the boy and girl. The rapist hovering bridges, right? Joe, you, or Harry, right? But then, right? Then you either move up to Florida. You want to water bit. Or here in San Diego, right, with Ellery or whoever, the Oyster Cracker Man and the team of faggot, Robo Rapist Knight. Remember, you got a rapist barn in Paso Robles, and then they were somewhere around here, the Zora Ranch or whatever you guys use. Okay, Tim Hall, Bill Duvall. But so you move the boy up here, Robo Knight or Harry, and you guys either frame him or whatnot, or he rejected Perlita. Okay. Then Perlita throws a temper tantrum, and you guys either go to Colorado or whatever, okay, or whoever did that stuff. But the boy, so remember, you have Straw Hat Girl, and so Elton, Oyster Cracker Man, Ellery. I could tell it's like you men's gay fag rape circle, okay, because this is how you make your money. This is your racket. That's why it's a cheap pedophile child thing, Joe. You had to admit, Joe, that you killed one of Greg Faust or Wendy's child. Okay, so Michigan or from England, and this is probably why your Joe's all nasty or all hard on Karen. So from England to the Jonestown, because Holly and Tom were the mix. There's something wrong there, and Dave had to be the special boy, the only one of Israel. So it proves, Joe, that you murdered a kid in Israel or somewhere in that area. That's your guys' whole thing, so you can run the throne with Bernard and Ellery and the Robo Knight. So down, then you guys do the hovering bridges thing there in Jonestown, or wherever the Branch Davidian thing goes on. Then you move it up to Florida or to San Diego, Miami. This is the Negro thing. This is where you guys get the Negroes in, and then the fight with Perlita and the Spanish and the Mexicans. And then Bernard de la Carney. That's why you guys got Carney, Red, and Elton, and them running back and forth, making up, because you got clones. This is where we find where Joe or the Robo Knight there had their little terrorist attack at either Florida or here, or one of the same, right? One in Florida and then one out here, or the school, or or the church, religious thing, or the hospital, right? Blue, get it? Hilton Blue, the red Robo Knight on the streets without the little small fry and Elton working together, the bitted bat for. But then you have what Elton raped, the Straw Hat Girl. You guys were tied with that, and then the Oyster Cracker Man, who thinks he's a badass, but he's really a piece of shit, trying to solve the great mystery. But he, busts, and then Jim and me get nailed for the prototype. But then, Carney Bernard makes up his little story. Right, Bernard? See how I can already, Jim, you guys are screwing over me, Jim, Justin, Aaron, Paul, Marino, because it's a group of you men are the rapists. Okay? But Perlita's rejected and throws her tizzy fit with Don Wiley, who's rejected. Team Bitted Fat. Team Purple. Purple Oil. The one that's stupid, Bernard, is you. Garney and Elton and your team. Because any kids that walk up and down that street, you guys do your shit to. That doesn't like the football. Right? Don't like the football or the baseball, and any of the anti-sports. Oh, you guys go attack Greg Faust. Or Ron Miller. Or the Surveyors. This is the crap mess that country and western boys got, because guess what? They screwed with Bailey's stuff. That's why they hold her hostage with Randy and his made-up story with his hillbilly. Gordon, Area 138 possibly killed people in Lancaster, PA. Maybe. After Kim left Terry. But see, you guys, maybe. Then you guys tied, oh, maybe if I went to Florida, you'd do the same, or if I came here. But basically, Red Robo Rapist Night and your barnyard up there, Karen, Don. Hey, see, that's what you guys think you can do with Ellery, because some of you women have maybe been forced to do something you didn't want to do because the men were dumb. See, I think my father is innocent, Joe, and Paul Puller is innocent, and that Joe Zillig or the Red Robo Knight and them forced some shit because they're pedophile LGBT fag. And that's all their life surrounds, so they don't have to work. Stolen ideas, stuff like that. But, see, Ellery was rejected because Boyd didn't want to sleep with them. Maybe another boy, Brian in Florida, didn't want to sleep with them. Satellite Beach. Spoiled Michigani. Or Joe, All-American. So, it's pretty easy to decipher, Joe, that's what you do. Pairs of two cause a conflict, pairs of two cause a conflict, pairs of two, and they just keep getting fatter and fatter and fatter like you wanted, like you said, Joe. Red Robo Knight, you guys, it's doing exactly what you guys took it over and did, because you guys originally stole it and killed the kids and made it work, and then you guys use the same old reefer madness thing. This is their immortality. So stupid. No, it just pretty much figures out who are the ones who originally stole it, and it's most likely the parents, Pickens Street, Jamaica Street, and the Negroes, and their false claim to Israel, as they all went over the pilgrimage and people got killed because Bernard and his cans of shit and his All-American and the Red Robo Knight and they just run the El Cortez routine, bed bugs, all that stuff. It's really not that hard for Lita to figure it out that you're grifting and running a racket. It's basically a cheap-ass pornography bordello where it shouldn't be. That's why we call it Rape-La-Stank. Because Rape-La-Stank took it from the kids that got it to work because they were jealous over Starbucks or Riley, or you guys just do whatever you want, and that's what it turns into. You can't really rewind it, Ellery and Bernard, because you guys wanted the ghetto with Perlita, like I said, because you guys were more obsessed with watching her ass propped up in a fucking couch, and then the Negroes joined in. So Perlita, you got what you wanted with Bernard. It doesn't make you God with your group of guys there. It just makes you a bunch of football guys that like to watch gang rapes and, stupid shit, which costs a lot of money and makes people sick and unhealthy. And usually smart ones wise up to that because you guys are all immersed in a football story, trying to teach people a lesson. It's bound to fall apart. And then when people find out it was basically based upon the Olympics or whatnot, and you guys screwed up those kids, so Bernard and the Bitted Bat 4 can be vampires and retrofitted everything what it's not meant to do, Bernard. That's why you get sick, because you didn't want to follow good advice, like my mom didn't want to follow good advice, and you guys screwed up my dad's shit, or Mel Kobe stuff, or Beswick stuff. And so Bernard, the best seat for Beswick is that if you got interfered with his wife and his daughters and they got a divorce so you could screw his wife, Bernard, then guess who gets the noose? Jay Beswick. And he gets to wrap it around you, Bernard, and watch you raise his daughters, and if anything goes wrong, he gets to screw you up, Bernard. That's what happens when you sleep with men's wives or daughters, dude. Polygamy is not an excuse. That means if you don't take care of your business, Bernard, with your team, with like Doug, or that whole group of you work together, DJ Dave and Perlita, as you guys make an announcement with your Yahoo dictatorship. It means, Bernard, if you fuck up Carney, Bernard, Eloise, Robo Knight, guess what? He's got the noose around the guys that screwed up his family. And then he gets to go around and tell the great news about how he was successfully able to nail a bunch of you for fucking up his family, Bernard. That's why I helped them out. I stay true to my word, Bernard. Because I was never interested in your Red Carney anyway, Bernard. And if you killed one of his kids or Greg Faust's kids and messed the whole thing up, Bernard, when everybody was working along and getting it to work in the first place, Bernard, and guess what it means, Carney, Bernard? That you're the one with your war path and Indian Cowboy Joe and the All-Americans trying to force their sports on people that nobody wanted, Bernard. Harry, Joe, nobody wanted it, because look what you guys turned it into, a pile of shit.